in early years. Montessori language is what you call literacy. So in Montessori, it is called language because it talks about the understanding and writing of letters, from identification of letters to writing of letters to differentiating letters, vowels, consonants, reading letters, 2-letter words, 3-letter words. You understand? That is the language. The Montessori language is one of the broadest curriculum in the Montessori early years. We are going to be doing this particular course, this language, for the whole of your program. There are topics we will take in first semester like this. There are topics we will take in last semester till the end of your program, because it starts from identification, differentiation, communication. Then we go to the series. We have the pink series, we have the blue series, we have the green series. Then it ends at the grammar farm, the Montessori grammar farm. The Montessori grammar farm is that area of language where the child will be able to identify the functions of words in sentences, where you have articles, you have pronouns, you have conjunctions, you have you understand, nouns, verbs, adverbs, like that, adjectives. That's where it ends. And that is where the language and the maths is where you will really get to understand that here we teach Montessori from 0 to 6 years. In fact, the grammar farm is 7 years. According to the Montessori curriculum, the grammar farm is, the child should be at age 7 by the time you learn the grammar farm. So what that tells you is that if you are able to go through a full 1 year full Montessori program, you will not only be skilled and knowledgeable to teach in the preschool, you will also be able to teach in the primary school using the Montessori method. Using the Montessori method. There's something going on in Nigeria. You know, Montessori came here late. We started Montessori. Montessori came to Nigeria about 40 years ago. About 35, 40 years ago. And Montessori has been in function for over 150 years. Dr. Maria Montessori died 73 years ago. She died in 1952. How do I know? My first sister was born in 1952 and she's 73. So, and she has practiced Montessori for nothing less than 60 to 70 years before she died. So when you add the time she has practiced Montessori, going from Italy to India to Germany to UK to the United States, spreading the Montessori gospel, in addition to the years she spent, she has died. It's about 150 years, 70 plus 70. It's about 150 years. So it got to Nigeria about 35 years ago. So you see that we are late starters. Montessori got to India about 70 years ago, 75 years ago. So we are late starters. And that made a lot of people to believe, there's a general belief, what I call a myth, that's something that is not real, that's going on in the Nigerian edu system, that Montessori is for preschool. That one you said is another myth, that is for special needs, that's another myth. There is a very strong myth that Montessori is for nursery children. It's a myth. Please know that and know it. Montessori is in 4 planes, what we call the planes of development. Montessori is in 4 planes. The 4 planes. The first plane is 0 to 3 years. The second plane is 3 to 6 years. The third plane is 6 to 12 years. The fourth plane is 12 to 24 years. 24 years. So in some foreign countries, there is a Montessori university. Yes, in Honolulu, Japan. You can Google it. in Honolulu, Japan, there is a university, a Montessori university. The only thing they teach in that university is Montessori. You will get degrees in different Montessori areas. So in foreign countries, you find Montessori practitioners that they are only specialists in 0 to 3. Their area of specialization is 0 to 3. There are some that their area of specialization is 3 to 6. There are people who specialize in 6 to 12, like that. So when they are talking, like we are having a Montessori conference presently, there's a Montessori conference going on presently in United States for Montessori practitioners. I'm a part of that conference. The people who are anchoring that program that have been lecturing us are people who are specialties in the different learning areas. So when it's time to talk about 3 to 6, it's somebody that has practiced 3 to 6 for like 25 years that's coming to talk to you. So for somebody like me, she's going to say something that I've never even heard before. And I've been studying Montessori for the past 15 years. But because she is a specialist in that area, I've been studying generally. She has gone deep into a specific learning area. So she's in depth. You understand? Just like in medicine, you have cardiologists, you have dentists, you understand what I'm talking about. So I want you to understand. Why am I saying this? I want you to understand that, who is there? Alaja, please tell Mr. Laiton that he should send the link of this class to online, yes. So I want you to understand that at the end of your program here, you are going to be a specialist in 0 to 6. 0 to 6. And anytime any of us are teaching, please don't joke. I don't want to say myself because that is pride. But anytime we are teaching, please listen. You're going to get very, very important information. So today we're going to be introduced to the Montessori view of the child. The Montessori view of the child. How does Montessori view the child? In the study of language development in Montessori early childhood, before exploring the specific materials, there are language materials in that class. As we are taking theory, we will be taking the practicals. There are some materials I will show you, then we move on. Before we explore the specific materials in the language area, it is essential to understand the foundational principles that guide this work. Which work? Language in Montessori. In a Montessori setting, we do not simply teach, emphasis on teach. We do not simply teach children to read and write. Instead, we organize that the child between the ages of 3 and 6 is in a unique developmental stage. I've often told you people that children need to have a behavior for them to learn. You understand? It is for you to teach, it is for the child to learn. It's two different things. There is no law anywhere that says if you teach, the child will learn. No. So in order for you not to waste your time, your effort and energy, you need to first identify if the child has those developmental traits that he or she needs to learn. Choma, is your phone here? I like people doing small videos for me when I'm teaching. Can you do that? Okay, can you use mine? You can use mine. So put it in video. Just do small caption. Stop it. Small caption. Especially when you see that I'm saying some critical things, I used to use them for advert. So between the ages of 6, there is what we call developmental milestone. There's something we call developmental milestone. Now, can you tell me? Is your phone here? Can you open developmental milestone of 3 to 6 year old in language. Put language. You are going to read some things for me there. Developmental milestones of 3 to 6 year old in language. Now, there is a developmental stage that children get to between the age of 3 to 6. Number one, focus and attention should have been developed to an extent. Focus and attention. Focus and attention in children is very, very minimal. Children have very, very small attention span. That's the way nature created them. Why? Why do they have small attention span? The world is new to them. The world is new to them. They are just getting to see the world, to understand the world. That's why when you take them to any new place, they are looking. It's not, you don't be one of those adults that say, stop looking. What are you looking at? The world is strange to them. It is our responsibilities as adults to introduce the world to them. But by the time they are three, their prefrontal cortex, this part of their brain, can you look for Scholastica? Look in front of you. Can you look for the prototype of the brain for me? Give me. Now there is something, this part of our brain that we call the prefrontal cortex. That is the part of our brain that is responsible for executive functioning, decision making. Should I go? Should I come back? Should I tell her? I think I need to say, let me cry. That is the, yes, thank you. Now, this is the prefrontal cortex. This is the prefrontal cortex. This is our neck. This is the back of our brain. This is the prefrontal cortex. Now, this prefrontal cortex, 95% of it develop between the age of 0 to 3. 95% of it, of our whole brain, in fact, our whole brain develop between the age of 0 to 3. So what's the percentage that we now need to develop after 3 years till we are grown like this to 25 years is just 5%. Psychologists said the human brain is not fully developed until the human attains the age of 25. So those of you that have 15-year-olds, 10-year-old at home, that you are telling them, are you a baby? Yes, they are babies. I'm emphatically telling you now that they are babies. Their brain is still developing. You understand? But from the age of 0 to 3, this part is developed. So from 3, they develop some traits. They can be more focused. If you bring something that attracts them, that interests them, they can be like this. And every human needs a degree of focus and attention to be able to grasp new concepts. So the first thing you want to look at as the preschool teacher trying to introduce language to the child is, does this child have focus and attention skills? Can he focus? Then when you are able to get that focus, how many minutes? You need to use your time. Check. It's been focusing for 2 minutes. It's been focusing for 3 minutes. You are like a nurse trying to listen to the pulse of a patient as at that time. So you can actually say, this child can focus for 7 minutes. Now, if this child can focus for 7 minutes, what can I teach this child for at least 5 minutes and she'll be able to get it? So you will know how to streamline the introductory process of your new topic. Because psychology says, if you are bringing a new topic to the child in the early years, the first 3 minutes is important to you. The first 3 minutes. If you don't get them in the first 3 minutes, forget about it. You are teaching yourself. So the moment you open your mouth and say, ba, ba, black sheep, you must come with a song, whether it's ba, ba, black sheep, whether it's whatever. You must come with something that will make everybody zoom and throw it. Then you catch them. If you cannot catch them, if you are saying, can we all sit down today? we are going to continue telling your stories. They'll be looking at you. And in another 1 minute, somebody will be saying, my mom did not put my biscuit in my bag. Out of wee. This one pinch me. Because what you have brought is not catchy enough. Catchy. This is the same concept content creators use. This is the same concept. That is one of the reasons why you cannot put down your phone when you're on Facebook, or you are on Instagram, or you are on Twitter. The first line of my content, if you follow me on Facebook, you will notice that I use storytelling. I use storytelling method. The first 2 lines of my story must catch you. Anytime I say, let me tell you a story, I'm going to have loads of likes and comments, because humans by nature, we love stories. Stories is what we call gist. I like that. Me and that my friend used to gist. So when we want you to give us your attention, we want to gist with you. Say, let me tell you a story. 20 years ago, when I was in the classroom, Mrs. Obadari, the same thing you have to be able to use when you want to catch the attention of children, to listen to you, to learn from you, to grasp the concept you are bringing. It's still going to get complex. It is still going to get complex, but you have to start from somewhere. And your starting point is very, very important. Your starting point is very, very important. So, Dr. Maria Montessori identified this period as one where the child possesses an absorbent mind. This is the stage where we call them the absorbent mind. Anything you bring, they absorb it. Anything. That's why if the video sing rubbish, they will sing it. If Yinka Ayefele sing his own, they will sing it. They will sing it better than you people that are adult. Because your attention is scattered. They can sit down just once on the TV like this and listen to Yinka Alaseyori, and they have got it. And they will start singing it. So, effortlessly taking information from the environment. They take all their information from the environment. That's why I often tell you, some of you that have heard it from me before, that the environment is more powerful than you. The environment is more powerful than you if you are the parent of the child. You, mother and father, you are just one person. You are just one, speaking with one voice. The environment is your house, your neighbor, your friend, your next door neighbor, the next flat, the man playing music in front of your house, your church, the Sunday school teacher, your pastor, the choir master, the school, the teacher, the head teacher, his classmate. Look at the number of environment. Look at the number of the environment. It's so overwhelming. So in order for you to now take the attention away from the environment and redirect it to yourself, you must be very determined and intentional as a teacher. Now, and it's within a sensitive period for language. Children go through, from the age of 0 to 6 years, children go through about 7 to 8 sensitive periods. 7 to 8 sensitive periods. From 0 to 6 years. There is sensitivity to movement. There is I said between the age of 0 to 6 years, children go through about 7 to 8 sensitive periods, which are landmark areas in their lives. There is sensitivity to movement. There is sensitivity to sound. There is sensitivity to tiny objects. There is sensitivity to sound. There is sensitivity to language. There is sensitivity to maths. There is sensitivity to colors. There is sensitivity to shapes. Now, what is the benefit of this sensitive period? How does this sensitive period, how can you as a teacher maximize on this sensitive period? The sensitive periods are like windows of opportunities. That's why how I defined it my personal description of the sensitive period. Sensitive periods are like windows of opportunities. It's like I have a piece of paper here, I want to throw it outside, but there is a net here. When I throw, it comes back. The moment this net opens, if I throw, what will happen? It will go. Meaning, sensitive periods are windows of opportunities that opens in the life of the child between the age of 0 to 6 years, that whatever you throw at that time is going to work. So when a child is in the period of a sensitive period to language, and you continue to communicate with them in whatever language, please, it has nothing to do with whether you are Igbo, whether you are Yoruba, you are speaking Spanish, French. No, in whatever language you are communicating with the child, they are going to get that language. They are going to get it. They are going to start speaking it. I know a 5-year-old that speaks about 5 languages. About 5 languages, both Nigerian and foreign, because the parents are expert to it. Anywhere they move to, schools they put her, teachers bring this language, she gets it. Now there is sensitivity to numbers. If I tell you to read developmental milestones of children between 4.5 to 5 years in maths, that's the period of sensitivity to maths. How do I know this thing? I've been studying it for the past 15 years. So I know developmental milestones of children 0 to 18 years and what is happening there. I know it on my brain. I can tell you, this is 6-year-old. This is what is going to be happening. Why is that important for you to know as an educator? It is important for you to know because you will now know which curriculum is right for the child or which is not. It's very difficult for you now to just give me any curriculum and say, this is a 6-year-old class, grade 1, use this curriculum. When I go through that curriculum, I know the things that are supposed to be there for the average. Hold you there. Believe that you are somebody of value is the number of information you have in your brain. Information. The difference between us is actually information. The difference between you and that thing you are looking for is information. So the more information you have, the more powerful you become. The more information you have in any field, professional field or skill you belong to, the more powerful you become. The more you get attracted to people who need your service. You understand? Now, so this means the child has a natural, intense urge to absorb language in all its forms. Language in all its forms. Spoken, written, and read. These are the 3 critical areas of language. Spoken, written, and read. Whether you are speaking it, whether you want to write it, and whether you want to read it. There are people who can read language. They have problem with writing it. They don't understand the rudiments of writing language. There are still adults who can differentiate between THIS, THESE. There are people who still have that problem, and they are graduates. They are graduates. There are people who have problem with differentiating between WERE and WHERE and WE semicolon ERE. You understand me now? So that's what we mean by spoken, written, and read. So our role as educators is not to push information into the child, but to prepare an environment that meets these developmental needs. When there is need to identify, when there is need to write, when there is need to read, when there is need to speak, communication. We act as guides, connecting the child with the materials that will allow their innate potentials for literacy to unfold naturally. Everybody has an innate potential for literacy. Everybody. At least everybody has an innate potential to speak. Everybody has an innate potential to speak. Even the deaf want to speak. That's why you see them make attempt at the tongue. The job, the role of the tongue is to bring sounds. So even the deaf has need to speak. The autistic can speak jargons because there is need to speak. I dropped a content on Facebook not too long now, this afternoon. I remember when I was sitting down there preparing for this class, I remembered an autistic child in my class that came to school one day and started saying, Miss Abadare will die, Miss Abadare will die, Miss Abadare will die. My assistant ran away. She ran away. I didn't run away because I knew the child was autistic. I've already seen the trait of autistic. We know it's a special needs child. And I know that they pick words. It's in their nature to pick words. They don't know. They don't need to know what that word is. They will just say it. So I knew it's not going to have any effect on me. But the average Nigerian mind, it's demonic. This child is possessed. This child is... Mr. Badare has not died till now. This is the Mr. Badare I'm talking to. So Mr. Badare will not die. Now, number 2, the guiding principle from concrete to abstract. The guiding principle from concrete to abstract. Can you put your book here? You're shaking my tape. You're shaking my tripod. Thank you. Now, the guiding principle from concrete to abstract. Every material in the Montessori language curriculum follows one fundamental law of learning. The child must first experience a concept concretely before they can understand it abstractly. They must understand it concretely, like hold it, like almost hold it in their hands like this. Before you cannot take them to abstract, you are not telling them that IT is what? Or ET is what? Spell key for me. First key for me. If you tell a child to spell key for you in phonetic blends, it's that's because you have information. That's power of information. You know that one is clicking and one is curving. Now, if you say spell key for me, if a child writes CEY for you, the child is not wrong. The child is not wrong. Because you did not give the child the concrete differentiation between and. In the process of introducing the initial letter sounds to the child individually, that's where the language starts from. In the identification of letter sounds, you need to make the child understand that this curved one is called curved, and this is kicking. They are different. They have different shapes. They have different directionalities, but they have the same sound. They have the same sound. It's the same sound. Forget about what those diction waiting are confusing you. They have the same sound. So it is the responsibility of the teacher to be able to concretely hold the letter in your hand. Look at the shape. This one is facing like this. This one is like this. The child understands. Now you not take the child to abstract. That first stage of introducing the shape and the directionality and the sound, the child is in nursery 1. The child you are doing all those sort of, that curriculum is in nursery 1 curriculum. The child you are going to tell spell key for me is in nursery 2 curriculum. What is the gap? Curriculum, age, maturity. Nursery 1 is age 3. Curriculum is lower. Spell key for me, nursery 2 is age 4.5 to 5. Curriculum wider. Pincer grip stronger. Wrist muscles stronger. Navigating the directionality of the letters stronger. Do you see the process? So the problem with most early years teachers that I've seen and most early years schools that I've seen, that I've trained, is that People don't wait to pass through process. There is something called process. Process. You need, can you close that window? You need to understand process. Allow the child go through process and then arrive at destination. There's a destination with curriculum. That is why at the beginning of every school year, as a teacher in nursery 1, nursery 2, to whatever nursery you are going or primary you are going, you must have a learning goal. What is your goal at the beginning of that learning year or term? What is your goal? Now, if your goal is that at the end of this term, every child in this class must be able to read 2-letter words and blend the initial letter sounds, you are staying within that goal. You are focused on that goal. Nothing takes you out of that goal. Whatever else is happening, that is your goal. So you must make sure that your language area and the tools you are going to use in the language area is available in the school already. It is not you have that class on Monday. You are not looking for material on Friday when the school closes. You don't have a destination. You don't even know where you are going. You must have looked for it. Now next week is midterm break in Lagos State, 1 week. Then we will start the second half of the term. What is in your curriculum? What are you teaching for the second half of the term? The whole of next week is for you to look for what you are going to use to do that. Now, concrete. The child feels the stage. The child feels the shape. Bisola, can you go to the Montessori room? Tell Mr. Lighton that I said you should bring the metal inset and the LMA. The metal inset and the LMA is what I need. I don't want them to start moving about. The child cannot be expected to decode abstract symbols on paper if they have not first built a foundation through their senses, movements, and concrete materials. The child cannot be expected to decode abstract symbols on paper if they have not first built a foundation through their senses and movements. The child feels the shape of a letter, sandpaper letters. Elijah, can you join and bring sandpaper letters for me? Sandpaper letters. Hear the sound in a game, I Spy game. There is a game in language we call the I Spy game. What is the I Spy game? We put some objects in a bag. We tie the mouth of the bag without the child seeing when we are putting the objects. And then we open the bag very small and tell the child to put his or her hand inside and bring whatever his or her hand can touch. Bring whatever his or her hand can touch. You are not disturbing me. Okay. Okay.
Is it, should I bring it to respect
You can bring a chair from that place.
Ma, can we do this one?
She's bringing a chair. I had to bring them here because I don't want us to be going back and forth. Now this is the LMA. This is called the LMA. This is called the LMA, large movable alphabet. Put it there. This is called the LMA. LMA is large movable alphabet. Thank you. Large movable alphabet. So it is from here we begin to take the letters one after the other. A, B, K, D. You understand? For the child to identify the letters and their shapes. Now, this is called, this is the sandpaper letter I mentioned. Can you see this? These are the sandpaper letters. These letters are made with sandpaper. This is sandpaper. It is the same sandpaper carpenters use. It is sandpapers we cut into these letter shapes and painted before we glued it on the board. The reason why you see two colors, the reason why you are seeing two colors of the LMA is that the blues are the vowels and the reds are the consonants. Now, this is the LMA. Why do we bring up the LMA? We bring up the LMA so that the child can trace the sandpaper. The child can use their fingers to trace through the directionality of the shapes for them to get the direction of the shapes. Curve, down, curve, down, curve, down, curve, down. We are also bringing the same letter in concrete. This is it in concrete that you can hold. They can look at it, they can hold. This is it in concrete. Now, we are bringing it in concrete here. We are making them trace it here. We are using the LMA and the metal insets. Sorry. We are using the metal insets that comes in different geometric shapes. With this tracing board. This is called a tracing board. What we simply do is that we put the metal insets on the tracing board. There's a paper there. We would have cut a paper in the shape of this size there. Stick it on this and put the LMA, the metal insets there. This is circle, not so. The first letter is R. The first letter is R. So now, using the right pencil grip, we are telling the child to trace through the metal insect several times. You know, I have not asked the child to write Anna. I have not even given the child dotted lines. I am just working on the pencil grip and the muscles, the hand muscles, the fine motor. I'm trying to help the child develop flexible fine motor skills that will make their wrist flexible to make curves. The reason why a lot of children cannot write or write well is because their hands are not flexible enough to make clockwise or anti-clockwise curves, to make lines, to make zigzag. Do you understand? In Montessori, the metal insect helps us to structurally teach the child how to form all these shapes before we now start telling them to go and write. You see, this is the reason why you will hear people, these spaces are for pencils, or they are different colored pencils. You see the reason why people will say Montessori takes time. Montessori is too slow. Montessori is not fast. Yes, Montessori is not fast because of all the process. We know the materials we have that we will use. But at the end of the day, the Montessori child comes out the strongest because process is thorough. Routine is consistent. Routine is consistent. In order for you to achieve mastery, you must be consistent with routine. You cannot avoid routine and expect to get to the other side of it, which is mastery. So let me go on. Whose phone is this? Please put it on silent. Now, abstract. I've talked about concrete. Abstract. Do you want me to go through concrete again? Concrete. The child feels the stage of the shape of a letter, sandpaper letters, like I've told you. Hears the sound in a game which we call I Spy game, and manipulates physical objects, movable alphabets.
Mark, you haven't done the installation of the I Spy game. You said the child is
We will put some objects in a bag. That bag will have a rope at the mouth. We will tell the child to dip his or her hand in the bag without looking inside. Whatever the hands of the child touches, we ask you to bring it out and name it. Maybe it touches a mango. Let's say we put a plastic fruit there and the child comes out with a mango. We ask the child, mango starts with what letter? Mango. So the child, if the child is very, very conversant with the initial letter sounds and their shape, you hear mango. Yeah, that's the aspire. A child, so let me talk about concrete now. Concrete. The child feels the shape of a letter, sandpaper letters. Hears the sound in a game, I Spy, and manipulates physical objects, movable alphabet. Abstract. The child eventually recognizes the symbol on a page. The child recognizes the symbol on a page. Reading. Put reading in bracket. The child recognizes the symbol on a page, reading, and forms it with a pencil. The child eventually recognizes the symbol on a page, reading, and forms it with a pencil, writing. So when the child recognizes that this is M on a page, and that is reading, that's reading. When the child that's reading. The child now goes to a page to form it, that is writing. So you see. So in Montessori, children actually read before they write. Did you get what I said? In Montessori, children read before they write. When we say they read, we are not saying they have started reading storybook, they have started reading notes. Meaning, what we mean is that the child must be able to identify the letter, read it, before the child writes it. So you don't, when a child cannot read it, and you say write for me, from where will the information come? You are asking, it's like you are asking an information from a computer that you did not upload. There was a day I asked AI to talk about me. Because my profile is on Google. Go to Google, you see my profile there, Adenike Obadari. Go to Google right now on your phone. My profile will come out. It's been there for more than 10 years. So I asked AI, I said, who is Adenike Obadari? He said he doesn't have information about Adenike Obadari. That I should continue to post my profile and write information about myself so he can have enough information to share about me. Then I told my children, I said, this thing is a fool. And everybody shouting AI. He doesn't have information about me. So what am I saying? We are the one feeding AI.
Yes.
There's no superpower AI anywhere. Any information you see on it, somebody has entered it from somewhere. That's why where it's supplying you. What AI just does to you is that it gives you access to the information of so many millions of people. Do you understand now? So, you understand what reading is and writing is for the child. Now, number 3, the four key areas of the Montessori language curriculum. The 4 key areas of the Montessori language curriculum. Yes, the journey to literacy in the 3 to 6 classroom. The journey to literacy in the 3 to 6 classroom is built upon 4 interconnected pillars. 4 interconnected. The journey to literacy in the 3 to 6 classroom is built upon 4 interconnected pillars. They do not occur in isolation. That means you can't treat one and abandon the remaining 3, but are woven together to support the whole child. The journey to literacy in the 3 to 6 classroom is built upon 4 interconnected pillars. They do not occur in isolation, but are woven together to support the whole child. A, the first one. A, the first one, is the one we call the spoken language. The spoken language, the foundation of all literacy. The spoken language, the foundation of all literacy. The spoken language is so strong that there is hardly any child. This is from my personal experience. There is hardly any child born in Lagos that cannot speak English. Hardly. Even if they didn't read more than primary 6, they will speak English. That is why most of those conductors or other riders you see on the road, you see them, you feel like this ones are illiterate. When they begin to speak English to you, you will be shocked. Because they went to school. And our lingua franca in Lagos, apart from the fact that our parents are speaking Yoruba to us at home, our lingua franca in Lagos is English. If you are just born, you are lucky, you are just born in this Lagos, you will speak English. There's no way you will not hear English. If you don't hear it, you will hear it in school. During my time, we don't have home lesson. We don't have home lesson. In the 70s, 80s, we don't have home lesson. We have one teacher in our area that we organize a lesson. All of us after school, we'll come home, we'll eat, we'll change our clothes, we'll carry notebook, we say we are going to lesson. We'll go to lesson. One teacher will do one part like this. All of us will sit under, we'll do lesson. In that lesson, you will hear English. Even if you are a fool, you will hear English. So it is the foundation of language. That's why whether they went to school or not, they did not finish secondary school or not, they will speak English. They will shall be able to communicate in English. Even if they cannot speak fluent English like me, your head no correct. If they crave, who they crave, they will speak it. You understand? Because it's the basic in Lagos. It is the basic for us as Lagos children. Now, this is the most critical and often overlooked area. The spoken English, the spoken language is always the most critical and overlooked area. A child cannot read or write a word they have not heard and understood. A child cannot read or write a word they have not heard and understood. There was a day I told my son to read, and there is the word opaque, O-P-A-Q-U-E. My son said, opakwe. I wanted to die with laughter that day. I said, what did you say? He said, opakwe. I said, opakwe. You understand? He used his sound. He used sound. And when English language begins to get complex, there are areas you cannot even use sound. Yes. You will have to use the letter names. You understand? So, the goal, what is the goal? The goal is to enrich the child's vocabulary and ability to express themselves clearly. That's the goal of the spoken language. To understand, to enrich the child's vocabulary and ability to express themselves clearly. The key activities and materials for spoken language are vocabulary enrichment, using classified cards. These are the Mrs. Welcome. I'll be done by 2. Yeah. Vocabulary enrichment. Using classified cards, e.g., animals, furniture, food, all those picture cards, small picture cards, classified cards, to introduce precise language. This is done through the 3-period lesson: naming, recognition, and recall. You have not got to 3-period lesson, you will learn it. 3-period lesson: naming, recognition, and recall. Huh? I should come again. Okay. Vocabulary enrichment. Using classified cards, like cards for animals. Good afternoon, welcome. Furniture, food, to introduce precise language. I'm coming. Precise language. This is done through the 3-period lesson. The 3-period lesson is the first period naming, second period recognition, third period recall. Sound, the second point is sound games. Sound games. A series of oral games like the I Spy game I talked about, designed to make the child aware of the sound within words. The sound within words. We start with the initial sound, e.g., I spy something that begins with B. So the child picks something. I said, I sight something that begins with P. I sight something that begins with, as in pencil. I sight something that begins with B. Brain. I sight something that begins with B, as in bottle. I sight something that begins with as in pen. You understand? That's the I Spy game. Now, then move to ending and middle sounds. So in the initial letter sound, let's say we want to spell we want to spell the word ants. We want to spell the word ants. Ants. We want the child to spell the word ants. The first sound in ants is what? The middle sound is what? The last sound is what? So you're filling the gap that you see in their textbook. This is where it started from. So I can remove this and said, what is the middle sound in ant? That's after I've shown them in concrete. They've mastered it, I now remove it. I can come back with this and say, what is the first sound in ant? And then the child tells me and picks it from the enemy and put it there. And I can also say, what is the last sound in ant? You understand? So that is the sound games we do. Then we move to the ending and middle sound. We use the phonetic sound of the letter, not the name. The phonetic sound. Sounds are these ones. The names are the A, B, C. And please, I'm begging you. I'm going to stop here because of Miss Elias, and I want you to go on break a bit before she comes in. Please. Before a child gets to nursery 2, age 4.5, 5. Actually, it's supposed to be age 5. But I know that there are some late starters and then the Nigerian parent syndrome. Don't bring letter names. Don't. You see how those letter A sounds are is rubbish, complete rubbish. It's total rubbish. They don't need it. Once children identify A to Z, they can write it. They can identify it. They can point to it. They can blend it. When they get to nursery 2, do you know how many weeks it takes me to teach children letter names? 2 weeks. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K is 2 weeks. 2 weeks, just 2 weeks. The more you have done a thorough job of these ones and they know it, identifying ABC or naming it is not a problem for them. Their brain is matured enough to carry that information. And the only thing you need the capitalizations, the letter names for is sentence, beginning of sentence and name. That's what you need it for. Maybe proper nouns or something. How important. This is what we used to read. Me and you, this is what we are still using to read till today. So why are we in a hurry? What are we in a hurry for? So it is a wrong approach. Teaching children. If you are still teaching children, letter A sounds A, you are still operating a traditional school. You are operating a traditional school. You are in my age, 1976 and 1977, when I did not know how they teach me how to read. Till now, I don't know how I read. I just know that I am reading. Yes, so you have questions.
Yes, so since we have started with this one and sound, which one is that? Is it the introduction of the sound from A to C or Jolly Phonics or this other, which one is the more?
Jolly Phonics did not tell you not to introduce the letter from A to C.
Yeah.
What Jolly Phonics just did is that they arrange their own in a specialized way, so that after every 3 letters there is a word for the child to read. That still does not stop you from ensuring that you teach the child to identify letters from A to Z. Any child that identifies letters from A to Z becomes more powerful and more proficient in language.
I don't understand.
Any child that can identify letters from A to Z is more powerful and more fluent in language. Because if I can identify from A to Z, I can form as many words as possible. Once those words are between the concept of A to Z, whether you use Jolly Phonics or you don't use Jolly Phonics, once I know A to Z, I can blend. Blend boy, boy, boy. Blend dry, dry, dry. I can blend them. Yes. Once you are able to teach them to identify the letters individually, they will blend it. The only thing that will not make them blend it is if they are not sure of the letter, the sound that is coming. But if they are sure of the sound, they know that this is this is this is this is this is this is the this is this is just this is good. This is up. No, this is and E. This is where the problem is. So this is look at my mouth. You must open your mouth. This is it's not it's like see, it must sound to your nose. This sound must sound to your nose. When you are spending this thing, you will feel it in your nose. You will not eat your tongue at all. Do it. As an umbrella. Umbrella. It's not all, it's not a. It's not all, it's not a. If you say umbrella, you are not go. It's Ghanaian phonetic sound you are saying. No. British will not tell you umbrella. British will not, this is British. British will not tell you umbrella. British will tell you umbrella. That's an umbrella. We saw it so far. That's an umbrella. Umbrella.
It's
That's Jolly Phonics.
Don't worry. These are not. This is all. This is all.
It's what
This person that taught me, the person that taught me is British.
it's not it's when you're writing in the traditional way, it's like this.
The person that taught me this thing, did you hear me? The person that taught me this thing is British. So she told me, umbrella. If you say umbrella, that is Ghanaian Jolly Phonics that you are saying. Ghanaian is Ghanaian. Auntie, that's Ghanaian. They have their own. That sound similar, but has their language undertone. Under. Do you understand me now? But it is not all. Do you understand? There's a difference between these two sounds.
People call this one all.
This is all, as in orange. Do you understand now? So whether you are using, there is one they call Edu something. Radio Emilia. There is Radio Emilia. There is PYFS. These are all MES programs. They have all their own programs. There is Waldorf. There is Radio Emilia. There is Montessori. There is EYFS. There is a reason why somebody like me, after years of studying all of these things, I'm a certified EYFS practitioner. I have the certificate. Why did I choose Montessori? Dr. Maria Montessori says something in the Montessori method. In the Montessori method, one of her books, she said, God gave her an inspiration. I've read Montessori to the extent that I know that Dr. Maria Montessori is divinely inspired. She was divinely inspired. Now, if you read her book, The Montessori Method and the Spiritual Embryo, you will see areas where you know. I will look for some of her quotes in those areas and I will send to the group. You will see some of her notes where she said, practice the method as it will be applicable in your location. She was saying this in 1957. Practice the method as it will be applicable in your environment, in your location. She already has an intuition that this thing will go far. I will not be here again. They will take it to Africa. They might not have some things we are using now. Use what you have in your environment to teach it. Now, when I studied the different approaches, Waldorf, Radio Emilia, EYFS, Montessori is the best fit for our environment. Montessori has materials, very, very rich materials. It has books that you can read, a lot of books. The Child, Discovery of the Child, the Montessori Method, the Montessori Guide, the Montessori Adult, Montessori at Home. So many books that you can read. It has materials. It's a one-off investment. One of the investments is what you people are doing now. You are paying money, you want to study. If you want to have a school, the second investment is to buy the materials. Once you buy the materials and you have a knowledge of the method, you are good to go. You are good to go. EYFS does not have materials.
Yes, actually,
This girl says actually I'm boring.
cutting paper because
EYFS does not have materials. They don't have materials. It's the teacher. You'll be improvising every day. Waldorf that has materials. You will be going inside forest, bush, to go and start looking for roots, leaves. Before you will know what you are doing, Waldorf will tell you to Babalawo. They will enter your school and say, are you practicing Babalawo in this school? Because you'll be looking for calabash. You'll be looking for Epo this. You'll be looking for wood all over. it has to be in your immediate environment. Montessori cuts across. There are specific materials. You get those specific materials, you know how to present them to the child, you know how to observe the child, you know how to do record keeping, you are good to go. And the more you are consistent with using it for the child, you begin to see changes in the child. Good afternoon. Thank you.
Are you going to send the link of the
Yes, I will. Mr. I don't have to cut them. Cut where I got to, because it's a very you will get it. She should give them break a bit. Oh, come. She should give them break a bit. Please stop this. Your closing time is